Inter Milan's unbelievable Champions League journey, from underdogs to finalists. Inter Milan's path to the Champions League final against Premier League champions Manchester City has been nothing short of extraordinary. Despite grappling with financial troubles and lacking star power, the Italian giants have defied the odds and silenced skeptics along the way. Led by coach Simone Inzaghi, Inter Milan has showcased resilience, tactical astuteness, and a formidable defense that has propelled them to the biggest stage of European football. In this video, we'll be exploring how Inter Milan fought their way to the Champions League final despite being restrained by limited financial backing. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to enjoy in-depth football insights. An unlikely finalist. Inter has been grappling with financial troubles for a considerable period. The club's debts have soared into the hundreds of millions of dollars, prompting its owner, Chinese businessman Steven Zhang, to actively pursue a sale for multiple seasons, predating the detrimental impact of the coronavirus pandemic on Inter's financial situation. The severity of the club's predicament was symbolically portrayed through the absence of a sponsor on their jerseys during the semi-finals against Milan. The Italian side currently lacks a primary sponsor as the cryptocurrency company that previously occupied that prime advertising space failed to fulfill its payment obligations earlier this year. The club's constrained financial situation is evident in the composition of its squad, which lacks the star power typically associated with Champions League finalists. Apart from captain Lautaro Martinez and midfielder Nicolo Barella, Inter does not possess a multitude of assets that would be coveted by Europe's top clubs. Instead, Inzaghi has had to work with a mix of experienced players, discarded talents, promising individuals, and journeymen. The team assembled by Inzaghi has an average age of 28.9, with many players either signed as young prospects or acquired on free transfers later in their careers. Therefore, Inter's starting 11 on Tuesday was assembled by the club for a mere 114 million euros. Furthermore, a closer look at the club's transfer activities over the past 5 years reveals even more remarkable work done behind the scenes. Take, for instance, Inter's transfer spending over the last 5 seasons, which amounts to a modest 501 million euros. Although this may appear substantial, it pales in comparison to the financial outlays of clubs that regularly contend for the Champions League. When compared to Europe's premier clubs, Inter find themselves positioned at a relatively modest 14th place in terms of money spent on transfer fees since 2017, investing just over half of what Chelsea, 1.23 billion euros, have expended during the same timeframe. When we delve into the club's net spend in the transfer market, which accounts for the money invested in transfers minus the income generated from player sales, the remarkable nature of Inter's business strategy off the field becomes even more apparent. Over the past 5 seasons, the club's net expenditure on transfer fees amounts to a mere 47 million euros. This figure is slightly lower than Brighton's spending during the same period and ranks 55th among all clubs worldwide. In essence, Inter has achieved remarkable success in European football by adopting a shrewd approach, focusing on securing deals, nurturing promising young talents, and avoiding the need for extravagant investments and risky transfers. It is this astute thinking behind the scenes that has propelled the team to their first Champions League final since 2010. So, how did this fantastic run begin? Group stage. Part of the challenging group that included Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Underdogs Victoria Plzen, Inter was not considered a favorite by some to secure a top 2 finish, particularly after a 2-0 defeat to Bayern in the opening match. However, Inzaghi's team responded as expected, recording a 2-0 victory against Victoria Plzen and causing an upset with a 1-0 win over Barcelona at San Siro, courtesy of Hakan Çalhanoğlu's decisive goal. As Bayern gradually pulled away, Inter managed to maintain a 3-point lead over Barcelona at the midway point of the group stage. They held on to that advantage, even in a captivating 3-3 draw at Camp Nou, where victory was snatched away by a last-minute Robert Lewandowski goal. A resounding 4-0 triumph over Victoria Plzen on the penultimate match day, combined with Barcelona's 3-0 defeat to Bayern, secured Inter's place in the knockout stages with 1 game to spare. The final 2-0 loss to the dominant Bayern side had little impact on their overall campaign. Round of 16. Next was a clash between two of Europe's most solid defensive teams in the round of 16. This was anticipated to be a low-scoring encounter, with Porto visiting San Siro with the intention of relying on their defensive prowess against Inzaghi's resilient side. The first leg was closely contested, remaining without goals until the 86th minute when Romelu Lukaku, on loan from Chelsea, capitalized on a rebound after hitting the woodwork. Porto's Otavio was sent off for a second yellow card offense just 8 minutes prior. Inter's goalkeeper, Andre Onana, displayed his brilliance in denying Porto throughout the first leg, and a similar narrative unfolded at the Estadio do Dragão. In a frantic finish, Mehdi Taremi struck the post and crossbar during an extended injury time period. Porto's Pepe received a red card, and Onana made numerous crucial saves, allowing Inter to advance with a hard-fought goalless draw. Quarterfinal. In what could be considered an underdog position, Inter traveled to Estadio da Luz to face the dominant Primeira Liga leaders, Benfica, following a decline in their domestic form. However, Inzaghi's team showcased a different side in European competition on Portuguese soil. A clinical performance in the first leg saw Nicolo Barella's header and a Lukaku penalty give Inter a 2-0 advantage, setting the stage for their return to San Siro, where they merely needed to avoid a catastrophic collapse to secure their place in the semi-finals. Despite the return of Nicolas Otamendi from suspension, which was expected to bolster Benfica's defensive resilience, both teams' leaky defenses were repeatedly breached in a frenzied 6-goal spectacle. Goals from Barella, Lautaro Martinez, and Joaquin Correa were countered by Frederick Orsens, Antonio Silva, and Peter Musa, as Inter squandered a 3-1 lead to settle for a thrilling 3-3 draw in the dying moments. However, Benfica's late resurgence proved futile as Inter set up an enticing derby against their local rivals, AC Milan. Semi-final. In a highly lopsided Champions League semi-final, Inter triumphed over Milan with a convincing 2-0 victory. The first half left Milan stunned as Inter asserted complete dominance from the initial whistle to the final moments. Edin Dzeko showcased his skill with a perfectly executed volley to break the deadlock in the 8th minute, swiftly followed by a quick and unexpected second goal from Henrik Mkhitaryan just 3 minutes later. Milan's situation could have been even bleaker had it not been for the VAR's intervention, which overturned a penalty awarded to Inter after Simon Kjaer's foul on Lautaro Martinez. The intensity waned in the second half, with neither team managing to find the back of the net. Inter's team surged past their crosstown rivals, AC Milan, to secure a spot in the Champions League final, a remarkable feat after 13 years. The team's place in the final was sealed with a 1-0 victory on the following week, completing a commanding 3-0 triumph on aggregate. This achievement not only stands as the pinnacle of Simone Inzaghi's career but also ranks among the most unlikely journeys witnessed in the history of the competition. While Inter may be considered as mere cannon fodder for the likes of Manchester City in the final, even that portrayal fails to fully capture the sheer implausibility of the club's presence in one of the biggest annual events in world football. Can they win? As they face Premier League champions Manchester City in the final, the Nerazzurri find themselves labeled once again as the underdogs. However, the question still remains, can they go all the way? There are arguments both for and against their success. On one hand, the Italians possess a rock-solid defense. Inter's journey to the final at the Ataturk Stadium can largely be attributed to their resolute defensive performance. Under Simone Inzaghi's leadership, their tenacious team emerged from a group that included Bayern Munich and Barcelona. Impressively, they have recorded the highest number of clean sheets in the tournament, with 8 in their 12 matches, including an impressive 5 out of 6 in the knockout stages. Goalkeeper Andre Onana has been a standout performer, contributing significantly to their defensive prowess. Additionally, the Milanese team possesses a special gem in Lautaro Martinez. The Argentine striker, a World Cup winner, has showcased his goal-scoring prowess by finding the back of the net 20 times in Serie A this season, a feat surpassed only by Napoli's Victor Osimhen. Supported by the experienced duo of Edin Dzeko and Romelu Lukaku, Martinez has consistently displayed his prolific abilities over the past 4 seasons. Prior to the semi-final, he emphasized the importance of his teammates harnessing the unity that led to his country's triumph in Qatar. Finally, being considered underdogs could potentially work in their favor. Inzaghi had initially set the goal of reaching the Champions League's round of 16 when he took charge in the summer of 2021. Not only did he successfully achieve that target last season, but he has also surpassed expectations in the current campaign. Since they are facing Manchester City in the final, Inter's opponents will undoubtedly be heavily favored and face greater pressure to perform. Still, there are also factors that suggest they are unlikely to win a prestigious trophy. One such factor is their inconsistency. While Inter has had an impressive journey in Europe, their performance in the domestic league has been rather inconsistent, resulting in a significant 17-point gap between them and the Serie A champions, Napoli. Their current position of third place is largely due to their recent 5-match winning streak. Throughout the season, Inzaghi's team has suffered 11 defeats out of 35 league matches, although they have managed to minimize the number of draws, with only 3. Another aspect to consider is that this is Inter's first significant European final in over 10 years. Javier Zanetti, the vice president of Inter and former captain who led the club to victory 13 years ago, expressed his preference to avoid facing Real Madrid in the final, stating that this competition seems made for them. Zanetti's remarks highlight Inter's limited exposure to high-stakes European matches in recent times. Since their triumphant campaign in 2010, they have only advanced past the group stage on 4 occasions, a record that stands in stark contrast to the achievements of Real Madrid and this year's finalists, Manchester City. Lastly, facing a tactically astute team like Manchester City will present a challenge for Inter, particularly due to their limited width in the squad. Inzaghi has built a well-balanced team that operates in a 3-5-2 formation, defying contemporary trends by fielding 2 strikers. This setup allows the 47-year-old coach to maximize the potential of his 4 forwards Martinez, Lukaku, Joaquin Correa, and Dzeko. However, relying solely on wingbacks to provide width in the attacking areas can result in a congested central midfield and pose difficulties in breaking down opposing defenses. Inter Milan's journey from underdogs to Champions League finalists is a testament to their resilience, astute management, and collective spirit. Despite financial constraints and a lack of star power, the team has defied expectations and earned their place in the final against Manchester City. While the odds may be stacked against them, Inter Milan has already proven that they are capable of defying the odds and making history in their quest for European glory. So, who do you think will win? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to like the video, smash that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell for more football analysis.